Oh wow, that is dodgy as fuck. Alright guys, today I'm going to be teaching you how to set up a trigger. No, that's not what I was testing. Hang on, give me a sec because I wanted to test to see if something worked. Which is right at the end of this level, unfortunately. Anyway, yeah, so we're doing low gravity on Black Ops 3. So basically we'll make a trigger. We will set up a timer for low gravity. And we will have it switch from one skybox to another. If you so desire, that part's optional. Yeah, don't have to do it, but that looks pretty cool. Provided that you have, you know what, I'm just gonna completely kick that out and we'll get straight to it because who wants to watch that? Let me go back. Where am I? No, that's the wrong folder. Here we go. Up here. Alright, user maps. Whatever your map name is. Which is actually a good point to point out, you know. Obviously you would have created a map, and if you're a complete noob, then you'd want to go to here, Call of Duty Black Ops 3, you want to go to user maps, whatever your map name is. The one I'm currently working on is this, Mario, yeah, that. Go to your scripts, go to ZM, go to your GSC. The difference between GSC and CSC, well, one is server side and the other one is client side. CSC is client side and GSC is server side. To help you figure out if you know what do I want to do? Do I want server or client side? Well, most of it's done on server side. Seems to be the way. Client side. Sorry, I'm trying to do this real quickly and figure out what's going on with stuff. I'm a little bit drunk, so you're gonna have to excuse that. That's not the right folder. Going backwards and forwards here. Alright, for most fins, I mean, this isn't everything. This is just what Treyarch pretty much gave us, which is kind of frustrating for me personally. But this is more or less engine functions in here. And I suggest you have a look at this because this will give you some great insight to what you can and can't do, with the limitation obviously is there's more things you can do, but Treyarch just didn't show us because they're assholes. Nah, they did good, I guess. The stuff they either couldn't or wasn't allowed to show us. Anyway, you see here it's got, let's just look here, entity, beam, trace, you know, blah 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 blah. These are certain options. You have your mandatory ones, you have your optional ones. So here's mandatory. It must have the start position, it must have the end position, it must have the hit characters, it must have the ignore entity, but it's an option to have ignore water, ignore class, ignore entity 2, yada yada yada. So that can, and down here is what I was getting to. It's like the client/server at service. That's going to go on your GSC rather than your CSC. Pardon me. So hopefully that helps you out with that. If you're looking at like, oh, GSC, CSC, what's what? Pardon me again. Yeah. Anyway, to finally get started on this, let's go into here, which will be your map name. You won't have this function here, which is basically what I'm going to teach you to do. This is a gravity change. I've called it gravity change. You can call it whatever you want. Last tutorial I told you this is the default settings. Well, actually this is what it says here, scripts. These are all scripts that this GSC is using. And GSC in itself is a script. Okay, so to explain that is you call on scripts within a script. Hopefully that makes sense. So we have scene shared. Up here I'm pretty sure there was stuff like where is it? Hopefully this will clarify it for you. Why don't I have it? That's interesting. Oh, here it is. Math shared, right? Math shared, because obviously we're going to want to know math within the script. If we're going to start counting or comparing one number to another, then we're going to have the math script in here. So look here, and to start making sense, it's like equipment, weapons. Yes, obviously we're going to want weapons. Utility, score, ZM score basically means exactly that. You got 10,000 points, whatever, and you can do stuff with that and the rest of this. So that's this better explained than what I did last time when I just said this is the default settings. Anyway, going down. First thing I'm going to want you to do to start this is you're going to go into your function main. This is the main function. This handles everything pretty much. Well, not pretty much, it does. Everything within the main is sorted for everything else, or vice versa. Yada yada yada. So in here I have level thread check for power. Level thread, okay, when you have level in front of something, it's basically global, and global basically means you can call upon it anywhere within the script. So I can call upon that when I make any function that I want. Check for power, I could call it on that, which exactly is that function. Never mind. I've done what I want you to do here, which is thread gravity. Now you can call this. I actually want you to type this and play around with this, just so if you're a noob, you'll get the understanding of what this does exactly. Now this says thread to a function. If that doesn't make sense, I'm basically saying, hey, I want to call upon this action within the main function. Now, it doesn't always have to be done like this. You don't always have to do what you want to do within the main GSC. You can call upon a different script, and within that script you can have, you could have the gravity change right here, this function. You could put that in there or whatever else. But for the time being, let's just do this. Okay, so I've put mine as thread gravity change. Put yours as whatever you want. You can do exactly what I did if you wish. You can call it chicken pie. Chicken pie with an X because I didn't spell that correctly. Chicken pie. It does need these two here, and it does need the semicolon. That is crucial. Also, you can see here that's blue. I've got the syntax set to C++, which isn't correct, but you can definitely tell that that isn't correct because that part's white and this part's blue. See, it's all together. If you wanted to put a space in between, then you'd do that. Put an underscore there. Anyway, I'm going to get rid of that. You write whatever you want. Now you have the thread there. Now you need to go and make the function. Right, and this is the function. It has to have function before the name of the function. And these are always here in front of that said function. Okay, so your function, gravity change, these two here. You'd put a left bracket there. And this is a while function. So this is pretty much saying while one, which in computing language is while true, make this happen. Now we've got a variable. The variable I've called grav. You can call whatever the fuck you want, doesn't matter. Equals get entity. So get ent is get entity. And here we have what I've called it, just to make nice and simple, is low, comma. It is important that you copy exactly what I've done for these two. You can call low whatever you want, but I've already set mine to low, so set it as low. Well, you can just go whatever. I have to do some radiant work, by the way. That's why I'm keeping it that way, because I've already set up in radiant. The target name always needs to be target name, but that's just what you're calling it within Radiant, you know. You could have it changed based on some other KVP. This is the current KVP that I'm using, is target name. Rada. Now, because it's a trigger, you can technically ignore that for now. This is just saying that player equals get players, so this script will get all the players that are playing the game. Anyway, so grav, that's a variable as you see here, so this is pretty much the same variable. Set hint string, this is, so so this trigger will play text when the player looks at it. It says here, turn low gravity on, question mark, yeah, okay. This is same variable, says set cursor hint no icon. That just removes that shitty little hand icon that I don't like. Maybe you do, whatever. If you don't mind having the hand icon there, you can simply remove it. Here we have wait till. So the variable will wait till this is triggered by the player. That's what that means. So wait till it is triggered by the player. Otherwise, you could do something like wait till it's triggered by damage. Say, you know, you shoot the trigger and then something happens, which in this case would be low gravity turns on. Where was I? Oh yeah, okay. Going on from that. Here we have player gets the player's current gravity, which is exactly that. It's getting the player's current gravity, and then this will set the gravity for that player to 100. Because I've gone player equals get players, it's going to get all the players, and then it's going to initialize this. So each player, if I've done that correctly, I'm not too sure if I did, because you could go like for each, you know, player in get players, do this. But if that doesn't work, then this will. I haven't actually tested on multiplayer. I'm just expecting that to work. I've got no errors so far, so whatever. I'm just going with it. If it doesn't work, have a look at some scripts when you actually start diving in. If you are a noob, do it. And you'll see what I mean. I do have a script somewhere, but I can't be fucked looking at it. Yeah, so set player gravity to 100. Basically, you have from 0 to 1024 or some ridiculous numerical value like that. And that can, the lower it is, the lower the gravity is. If you have it as 0, though, the player's just gonna fucking jump up and will be stuck in thin air, because it'd be the same as, yeah, just saying there's no gravity whatsoever. And it could cause an issue if you jump and then it just keeps taking you higher with a certain amount of force, you know, like you're in space sort of thing, which is pretty much what we're trying to replicate, but not to that degree. Now, player set entity gravity trajectory is basically the same setup that they had on the zombies map Moon, where you throw a grenade and it will just float around. So that's actually setting entity's gravity rather than the player's gravity. Interestingly enough, a player set entity gravity. Well, it's not wrong. It does set whatever the player has gravity to 1, which is the same as the Moon map. So yeah, that's correct, whatever. And this level utility util set lighting state is actually the part where the change in skybox comes into play, because this will change from one light state to another light state, which is also how you get lights working for the perks and stuff. If you haven't looked at that, this function check for power will fix that for you. Just type this in if you really want. I'm gonna just leave this here for a second so you can read it. Obviously, make sure that you have This here doesn't have to be level fred. You can just have fred if you really want. No. Oh wait. Yeah. Actually. Yeah. Yeah. That's fine. Unless you don't have this. If you don't have using script cm / blah 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 zm power, then you should definitely have level fred. Otherwise, it's not gonna know what the fuck's going on. Or it is. Maybe. I don't know. I'm too fucko to tell. Moving on from that, here we put a wait 40 seconds. It's going to wait 40 seconds, and it's going to set the lighting state to 1. See, lighting states in Radiant, if I say 1, it's lighting state 0. If I say 2, it's lighting state 1. So it pretty much goes on the old decimal based blah 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 blah. It's pretty average in programming. 0 equals 1. Simply because 0 is a number. You know, it exists when we use it. I'm not sure how to make it more clearer than that. But yeah. So if it sets it to 2, the skybox is going to change. If once it sets it back to 1, it's going to go back on to what it originally was. See here, it's lighting state 0, which is 1. That's actually lighting state 2, so that's going to be lighting state 3 actually. Never mind, I might have mixed my words up there. That's going to be lighting state 3. That's interesting. That means I've made 3 skyboxes and completely forgot about it. My bad. Hopefully I have explained most of what this is. Okay, so you go here, you check, you do this. If you want to have multiple skyboxes, and just for general lighting purposes, 0 is lighting state 1, 1 is lighting state 2. And I can show you what's going on in Radiant. Player clear, player gravity, that will just clear it. So that's why we have the get player gravity there. And that will clear player gravity, we'll set it back to default and set it back to what it was before. Anyway, let's go into Radiant. Did I explain that properly, or was I just rambling? I don't know. Either way, it doesn't matter. Either you get it or you don't. I suppose just pause and look at the stuff that I wrote down. My computer's pretty, it's just shit as fuck, so we're gonna have to sit here for a bit. Apologies. Also, one thing worth mentioning, because a lot of people get issues with this, they write something like, okay, so I've tried to add sound, but the sound's not working. I've put here, I put player, because I've seen that somewhere, player, play sound, and it didn't work. Like, player, play sound, yeah. The reason why that won't work is because you pretty much gone, the variable's called player, and then I've just said player, play sound. You need to initialize the variable first. Another way of saying it is you need to set it up, I guess. So another way to go around it is basically I've initialized grav. So I could say, because grav's the trigger, right? I could just say grav play sound instead. Grav play sound, and it will play sound at the trigger. If it's a 3D sound, then it's going to be 3D sound. So it's going to be at a position, a certain radius, it will start to fade out. If it's a 2D sound that you want to play, then it will play everywhere no matter what. So that's a way of getting around that. Or you could just initialize the player, have a look through scripts to set that up. Or you can just follow, what's his name's tutorial. He's got his own script that you can just automatically set that up and yada yada yada. Nice grenade or some shit, whatever his name is. Alright, we're in Radiant. Once it loads. Fucking hell, there's a lot of boxes you've got to open. Prefab browser, entity info, yada yada yada. And then get rid of this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this. Now, the map that you're working on won't look anything like this. This is something that I just started working on about a month ago. Custom textures and all that. And you can probably have a guess what the theme is based on those objects over there. It's Super Mario. Yeah. Anyway, you can press F9 to change from game view to just general view, I'm pretty sure. This is your main editing camera. Now, I already have a trigger set up to change the skybox. Wait, no, low gravity and skybox because of, yeah. Actually, that's something to address because I did say this is kind of like changing the skybox and blah blah tutorial. So let's get to that first. Okay, because we've already set our lighting states up within the script, we can just go to our sun box, which it will definitely be within. It will definitely be in your map. Every map has a sun box and a sky box and a. There's a lot that's put into the test map. There's like a 60 feet before blah blah box, and there's a few brushes that are used. This is such a fucking shit computer. Alright, we're here. We got our sunbox. Select it. Then have entity info up and ready to go. Yeah, cool. Alright, that's up and going. Oh, this is actually me showing you how to get any box that you need up and going. So if I want models, if I want entity info, you can also press N on the keyboard to show it up. Once we've got it selected, we have here SSI states. Look, as you can see here, I've got default night, and the third one I've put down as SMB2. That's a custom skybox. There is a tutorial on making custom skyboxes I could show you, but not right now because this isn't what the tutorial's aimed at. So for now, just go looking and you'll find. And here's a few. We can change it from factory to Zod, Pathin, or whatever else, blah 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 blah. I will change the default to SMB2 just to show you what it will change to, because I'm not going to go in game, it's going to take too long. It takes like half an hour for this piece of shit to load it. And I ain't got time for that. Not for tutorial. Well, specifically not for this tutorial. Alright. You see that? No, it's just... because of the change in the skybox settings, it goes from extremely dark to extremely bright, and it kind of needs to readjust itself. There we go. Alright, so that's what it will, this is what it would look like when it changes from well, having gravity to low gravity. Alright, cool. You simply just need to make a new SSI state within the skybox, as you see in the SSI 1, 2, 3, blah 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 blah. So 1 is 0 in scripting, 2 is 1 in scripting, you know, when you're doing your util light state, blah blah blah. Yeah, cool. Alright, we got that. All you need to do is make a trigger, which you can easily make just by right clicking on the camera if you want. You can go trigger, use, and that will just pop one up for you. I've already got mine up and going. The only thing you need to do here is make a target name, and I've called mine low. You can call yours whatever you want. But it does have to match. Pardon me. It does have to match low target. Yeah, it does have to match this. So whatever you called your variable, I want you to call it something different, just so you learn. Yeah, call it something equals get entity, whatever, and that's the target name. And then you will go here, you will do exactly what I've done. You've selected it, and you'll call target name whatever. Do I want it to trigger once, which is actually pretty cool. You can do this already and use it only once, so now I can only trigger it once, which you can also set up in scripting if you want. There's a lot of ways to do things if you start to think about it. That's something important that I want you to look into for yourself, is to think about the type of things that you can do. Because a lot of the times, I mean, when I was a noob, I was looking at a lot of different things, and people were saying, no, you have to do it this way, you have to do it that way, there's no other way around it. But it turns out there's at least 3 ways to go about a lot of things. Even more with some things, like, you wouldn't believe. Like, the amount of differences that you could make just by thinking about things in a different way when it comes to coding could just be a fucking game changer, and it could make things a lot easier on yourself. Like, if I really wanted to, I could set the low gravity when a certain color is viewed by the player. It doesn't have to be done by a trigger. I could I could change the low gravity when the player jumps. I could change the low gravity when a zombie's attacked. You know, if you get savvy with it, you can do a lot of things. You know, just by saying, okay, when the camera's rotated at this angle, this certain amount of degrees, blah blah blah, this will happen, that will happen. And it's not limited to that. You know, simply because that, you know, it's just programming. That's all this is. Well, this side of it anyway. As long as the syntax is correct, and as long as, you know, you have a good idea of what you're doing, there's no real boundaries technically. Of course, you can't just say player jump skadoodle chocolate stream, because that's not going to work, obviously. But, you know, have a look through everything, you know, read from other people's scripts and blah blah blah, and you'll quickly learn how to do a lot of other stuff. Anyway, that's it. I'm not going to show you the gameplay of it because it's going to take too long. And that's the tutorial. Alright. Ta-ta.